Hello, RNG crew. Welcome to our Thursday night leaders call where we talk about some stuff. Hopefully you guys take some notes and then give it a few years and we're all wildly successful. If only it was that easy. If only it was that easy. So I was trying to think about what we wanted to talk about, and I got a message from Heather asking, you guys all saw that post I did where I said, are you happy with your health? Are you happy with your finances? And do you want help? These are the types of questions you want to be asking people because, like I said, our goal is to find the people who are struggling with their health and their finances and offer them a solution. That's as easy as this needs to be. We have a solution. It's our job to present it to them. If they say no, okay, I'll check in with you later. On to the next person. So the hard part is once you're asking those kind of questions and you get people who are asking more, like, okay, you spiked my interest. Tell me more about this. The hard part is knowing what to say, your wording. This is where it gets to be a little confusing because if you just outright tell somebody, like the most common thing is somebody is asking about challenge packs, for example, because I run my business on challenge packs. I make a few random sales of like 21-day fix as a standalone program, or maybe, I don't know, results and recovery drink, just random supplements that I also use. So I get a few sales here and there that trickle in, but for the most part, I run this thing on challenge packs because it is a discount for the customer. And on my end, for the business, it earns 2 Success Club points, and it's a larger percentage of commission. Especially for those of you new coaches, you won't know this right off the bat, but you get a 25% commission if anyone buys random products throughout your store. So all the base kits and all that stuff is a 25% commission. But what you may not know is if you sell a challenge pack, it's discounted for the customer, and you also get about 35% commission. So it's a win-win. That's why I run this thing solely based on challenge packs. Of course, if somebody is financially strapped, and let's say 21-day fix, which is a $160 pack, if they're financially strapped and they can only afford $60, I'm not going to turn them away. Of course, I'm going to plug them in with just the base kit, which is the $60. Because a customer is somebody who's coming to you for help. Just because they can't afford a program, you don't want to be that coach that says, oh, sorry, I can't work with you. You're not going to pay me. At least for myself, like I tell people all the time, I would do this if I didn't make an income. The income is going to be a bonus. I mean, we all have bills to pay and that kind of stuff. But when I was doing massage therapy full time, I was doing Beachbody as a hobby. I didn't make any money my first 2 years. I had random sales of $30 here and there. But it wasn't until about year 2 that you see my team growth happen, and all of a sudden the residual income came in. And then it was $100 a week, $200 a week, $300 a week, and it just grows. The more consistent you are and the more you are present with your team. So Heather had reached out and asked, how do I explain this to them? And I've gotten myself so used to my routine and how I talk to people that I forget, especially as a newer coach, it's hard to know exactly how to talk to people about this stuff. So before I dive into kind of what my method is, if you're taking notes, write these down. Look up Tommy Migrant 5-step invitation process. If you're familiar with your back office, which I highly recommend all of you go in your back office, get really familiar with it because there's a crap ton of stuff back there. You'll find it inside of the resources. They changed it recently. It's back office, news and training, and then resources, I believe is the updated one. But just go to Google, type in Tommy Migrant 5-step invitation process. So Tommy Migrant is one of the top guys in our industry, and he put together a 5-step invitation process, and it's a PDF file that you can get some actual quotes that you can use, and of course customize all the quotes and never just directly copy and paste because you want to be authentic. There's too many coaches out there that you look at their Facebook page and they just copy paste, and then when they do their own post, you can tell it's not them the whole time. So that's the first one. The second one is going to be Eric Worre 7-step invite process. And for those of you who do not know who Eric Worre is, I highly recommend you download GoPro, the audiobook, or get the physical book. But I know for those of you on the live call, you know exactly who I'm talking about with the GoPro All Access website we all went through. So he talks a lot about a 7-step invite process, and I love that. So what I've done is I've always kind of used a combination of the two, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys here. So this literally is going to be how I talk to people. I don't have any like secret recipe that I'm brewing up in the back basement and then I'm like, I'm keeping it from my team. Like everyone thinks there's a big secret to build this business, and there isn't. It's just the small daily actions done consistently over time. You know, you look at the people who make $100,000 in a year, they didn't get lucky. Success never happens by accident, right? It's because they woke up every day with a purpose. And that's what I talked about with the schedule. If we have time, I'll dive into scheduling stuff at the end of this. So basically there's 3 different categories of people that I typically look out for, if you want to look at it that way. So I'm always keeping an eye out on all of my challengers and customers, because you want to look for the people who post consistently, especially on their main Facebook page. If they are sharing about Beachbody products on their main Facebook page, it blows my mind that some people aren't coaches, even though they are posting about it, because that's all coaches do, right? We work out, we drink shakes, we work on our mindset, and we just share about it. Like those are our 3 vital behaviors. So with your current challengers and customers, especially with challenge groups, you want to keep an eye out for the people who are natural leaders. You want to keep an eye out for the people who are posting consistently. And I put down kind of how you can introduce the opportunity, the business part to them. So if you see a challenger or customer, they are rocking their program, they are posting about it on their main Facebook page or inside your challenge group, and you just think, wow, this person would be an awesome coach. Tell them that. Literally, you don't have to come up with some secret recipe to figure out, okay, how can I sneak in the wording? So what I put down here is, I'm a big fan of if I, would you? And I'll explain that in a minute. That's all based on Eric Worre. So for this first one, it doesn't really follow that format, but for this first one, if I just sent out a message earlier today to one of my challengers, and I said, you have been blank, so you always want to compliment them first, and then period, have you ever considered blank? And you can fill in the wording however you'd like on that, but that's kind of the basic format in that situation. So you have a challenger, they've been rocking it, they show leadership skills. So like this morning I sent out a message and it was just very simple. I said, you have been absolutely rocking the challenge group for the last couple weeks, and I just want to ask you, have you ever considered joining the team as a coach? And you can add in to earn an additional income from home, to further your results with a team. You can add in whatever wording you want, but I kept it very basic. And she reached back out a couple hours ago and she's like, actually I was thinking about that at one point. Tell me more about it. That's kind of your intro. That's the doorway that opens. Is it going to be that smooth every time? Of course not. We're in a business, for crying out loud. No one's, it's funny how Beachbody, I used to think that Beachbody was its own business model. And sure, we have a network marketing business model, but building a Beachbody business is no different than building any other business. You can go down to your local Walmart and they're going to go through the same struggles as everyone else. We all have to invite people in, right? We have to show them what products and services we have. They're going to get some no's. You're going to get people who hate the company. You're going to get people blah, blah, blah. Fill in the blanks. So that's first situation is you have a current challenger or customer that's been rocking it. So first, you want to compliment them, say, you have been blank, and then have you ever considered joining my team, joining as a Beachbody coach, earning an additional income from home? You can fill in the blanks on that point. Situation number 2 are people that comment and like on your posts. This is a recent one I just started doing within the last 2 months. I used to almost ignore everyone that liked my stuff because we all know not everyone comments. It's easier, especially because everyone uses this now on Facebook, right? It's easier to scroll with your thumb and hit like, rather than, oh, wait, I need my other hand. Type out a comment, send. Sadly, that's a lot of extra work for people. I know, right? Sounds first world problems over here. So it's a lot easier for people to like your stuff, and you want to pay attention to the ones who are liking it consistently. Those are your followers. Those are the people who like what you post. Those are the people you want to be having conversations with. And like, I tell you guys all the time, I'm a big fan of talking to people first about non-Beachbody stuff. Because if your first conversation and your first impression is you're a Beachbody coach and you sell a product, they're always going to think, is this person going to try to sell me? But if you approach them as a friend first, that's where you build the trust in the relationship. And we all know that trust builds business. No other way to do it. You think about any brand of, I don't even know, shampoo, deodorant, toothpaste. If you're loyal to a brand, you're loyal because of trust. You know it works. So you're kind of that same situation. So situation number 2 is if they are commenting or liking your posts, one thing you can do is to reach out to them on a specific post, like just like the one I told you guys about yesterday. Are you happy with your health? Are you happy with your finances? Would you like help? On my end, I only got a few people that commented, but I got a lot of people that liked it. So I went through the ones that liked it and I asked, maybe I've already been talking to them, so I'd follow up with something we were talking about before, kind of introduce that conversation. But for the most part, you just send them a message and keep it simple and say something like, hey there, I just saw you liked, my post about fill in the blank, whatever your post was about. Is that something you're actually interested in? It's as simple as that. If I, would you? That's the format. If I, fill in the blank, would you, and typically be interested. And it can be in the program, the business, whatever you're trying to go for there. Number 3, this is my favorite one. Pay attention to people that complain. And if you catch them complaining about their health or their finances, we just happen to be sitting on a gold mine of opportunity that cures both of those. That's an opportunity to reach out to them. So if they're, really in both situations, you can reply with the same message. If they're complaining about their weight, their health, maybe they just got put on medications, high blood pressure, whatever it is. If they're complaining about finances and debt, and, start the conversation, make it non-Beachbody, find out about what's going on, and then just tell them, hey, if I showed you an opportunity that can help fix that, would you be interested in learning more? That's so simple. We as humans like to take something like that, and the second it hits our brain before it comes out of our mouth, we like to mold it and twist it and make it so difficult that we never actually do anything. We just sit there and wish, oh, I really want to talk to that person, but I don't know what to say. How do I talk to them about the business? Keep it simple. Literally those 3 formats I just gave you, that covers 90% of, at least from what, this is all based on what I've done. There's people who build the business in a completely different way than I do, so this is all based on my experience. My experience, these 3 situations are the most common that you'll see. It's a current customer or challenger. It's somebody who comments and likes your posts, or it's somebody that you catch complaining about stuff. So just keep it simple. If you catch them complaining, or the challenger method, whatever it is, for the most part, you can just say, if I showed you an opportunity that can help fill in the blank, help you lose the 20 pounds you want to lose, help you get off your blood pressure medications. If I showed you an opportunity that can help produce an extra $100 a week, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, would you be interested? If you ask somebody that question, 99% of them are going to say, yes, I'd be interested. So what happens after that? So you ask the question and they're like, you know what? I do want more information. Here's what I do. 99% of the time, I do not explain it. Makes no sense, right? I do not do the explaining. This is why we have videos. If you go into your back office, there are tons of videos about the programs, about the coaching opportunity, about the business, all of it. We have videos for this stuff. So when you get somebody that says, yes, I'd like more information, here's what we do next. And this is kind of getting into the Eric Worre method. Before you get into that about more information, you want to make sure you start asking questions at this point. You say, well, before I show you the information, tell me a little bit more about why you want to lose 20 pounds. Tell me a little bit more about the financial situation. What's going on with that? And that's, this is where you find their why. Because if you help, and some people have no idea. Some people have no idea the power of their own why until you start asking them questions and they realize, I want to lose those 20 pounds because I want to be able to run down the street with my kids without being so out of breath. Those are what we're digging for. Those are the deep whys. You don't want the superficial stuff. If the most common things you'll hear in this business, if you get somebody that comes to you for a program and you ask them why they want to do it, they're going to say, I want to lose weight. If you get somebody that comes to you for the business, I want to help people. Those are your two most common things, and they're both BS. There's something underneath that. You want to find the why behind the why. So if they say, I want to lose weight, and let's say it's 50 pounds, you ask them, well, take a minute and imagine how would life be different if you lost your 50 pounds? That's where they might tell you about running around with their kids. I know several people that have come to me before, and their why is their kids. They can't run around with their own kids. They can't squat down and pick up their kid. I tell you what, every time I pick up my little boy, he's only 4 months old, still diapers and all that kind of stuff. So it's like every time I bend over and pick him up, I think there's people who can't even bend over and pick up their own child. And as a parent, that rips my heart out to think about that. So you think about how many parents out there are struggling with that situation. You are sitting on an opportunity that can help them. It's selfish if you're not sharing that. A lot of people are so stuck behind the fact that we do network marketing and they're always thinking about it, and they feel bad if they give somebody the option about what we have. And that's not something you can let hold you back, because we have something amazing. We have something that everybody can use. It's our job to present it to them. It's not your job to convince them. Some people aren't ready. It's not their time. But when it is their time, because you stuck with them, you kept checking up on them, and you kept trying to help them, they're going to come to you when they're ready. I've had people that had told me no 3 or 4 times, and they come back 2 or 3 years later and say, okay, Chaz, I'm ready. Let's do this. And they actually do it. I have one guy that literally I've been in contact with this guy since the beginning, 6 years ago. And he was off and on. I haven't heard from him for over a year. I kid you not, have not heard from this guy for over a year. And he texted me randomly and said, hey, Chaz, I'm starting P90. I'm ready to do this. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this. Thinking, everyone tells me that. I'm ready. We'll see. It's the actions that show up in how truly committed they are. And so after 30 days, you guys can see my little board up here, client spotlight. 19 pounds and 16 inches in 30 days. I would say this guy's committed now. Can you imagine if I did not reach out to him 6 years ago and try to help him, even though he told me no? I don't know if he'd still be there. But he knew who to come to because he knew I was here for him the entire time. So, back on track. You get somebody that wants more information. Find out about their why. Ask a lot of questions. If you can master any one skill, it's asking questions and listening. Become a people person, not a people pleaser, a people person. Learn to communicate with people, ask questions, read books about this stuff, personal development. These are the kind of things you want to be reading about. So once you ask the questions, find out their why, you can use that to your advantage, because you can come back with, if they give you an objection, right? They say, I can't afford it, or I don't have time to work the business, blah, blah, blah. And you can literally come back and say, how committed are you to losing that 50 pounds? How committed are you to making $500 a month so you can take your kids out and go grocery shopping, or shopping for school or whatever? So once you get to that, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my 5-step process I personally use when I'm doing the wording. So after you ask the questions, I ask them, do you have a few minutes to watch a video? Usually they'll say, yes, I can watch it right now, or they'll say, well, I can't tonight. And then you want to make sure you lock in a time and ask them, when can you watch this? And typically they'll say, tomorrow morning, or I can watch it tonight. and you say, okay, when is a good time to follow up with you? 30 minutes after that time? 20 minutes after that time? Set a time to follow up with them, whether it be on the phone. Phone is preferred because you actually get to put a voice behind the text. I'm a big fan of social media and how we can use it, but you can't beat face-to-face interaction. You can't beat voice-to-voice. That's where people get to build trust with you. So ask them, do you have a few minutes to watch a video? The type of video, we have tons. If you need specific videos for the business or Shakeology or anything like that I use, I'm actually going to type up a document that's going to be kind of like our team scripts. So these are going to be this type of stuff I'm talking about right here. I'm going to put these quotes into a document, and I'm going to link which videos I use to send people. That way you can directly copy them, or you can add your own twist to it or whatever. So number one, you ask them to watch the video. Number two, when you follow up, you ask them, what did you like best or connect with from what you saw? Typically, if it's the business, they're going to say, I love the fact that I can work part-time. I can build an income from home. I can earn, $100 a week or a month to start out with. It's a flexible schedule. You find out what connected best with them. And then number three, you're going to ask them, okay, great. Now on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not interested at all, or 10 being I'm ready to do this now, where do you rate yourself? What number are you? Some people are going to be about 5, 6, or 7. There's that one thing holding them back. So if they say, well, right now I'm about 7. You say, okay, great. 7, it means that you're pretty interested. What is holding you back from being a 10? And that's where they bring up, I don't have the time. I don't have the money right now. You find out what's holding them back. And, objections are some of the toughest things to overcome, because the first thing we want to do is just throw up our hands and say, okay, no problem. Talk to you later. Find out more about that. I'm a prime example of, I had an objection with our Cancun trip, like I talked about in last week's call. Or 2 weeks ago, I had an objection with going to Cancun because I said we can't afford it. I literally had to tell Trista, we can't afford the free trip that we won. I can't afford the plane tickets. That's what I had to tell her. And when she gave me that wife look of, oh, it's okay, I said, well, shit, that's an excuse. If I want it, I'm going to make it happen. So I busted my ass for that next week, and I made the money to make it happen. I've had several people that have even joined this team that they not necessarily said I can't afford it. They said, you know what, I don't have the money right now, but I'm going to get it. So some people went through and sold stuff out of their house. Some people took on extra shifts at work. They made it happen. So you want to keep in mind, you're going to get those types of objections, so be ready for those. Go to Google and type in how to overcome objections, Beachbody. There are top coaches who have already done tons of trainings on them, which is why I'm not going to dive into them right this second. I'm just giving you my basic layout for talking to people. So scale of 1 to 10, find out where they're at. This is where you find out about their objections. And by you doing some research on YouTube, look up the objections Beachbody. You'll see how to overcome those. So number 4, you want to find out about their goals. So you can ask stuff like, okay, do you mind me asking, how much money do you need to make per month for this to be worth your while? And typically people are going to be like, $500 a month would be great. And you say, awesome. What kind of time commitment can you give to this company to work per week to make $500 a month? Some people are going to say, I can commit 10 hours a week right now. That's all my free time. You say, okay, great. How long are you willing to work for to make that happen? And they might say 6 months. And so you confirm, you say, okay, great. So from what I understand, you are willing to work 10 hours a week for 6 months to build a residual income of $500 a month. Is that correct? And they say, yeah. And this is all because it's reassuring what they're getting into. It's reassuring their hope that it is possible. And by you giving them that hope, it's putting a big old stamp right on top of it. Instead of you going, 500? Are you sure you want to do that much? I don't know if that's possible. That's not very assuring if you are a prospect talking to somebody to join their business, right? You want somebody that's going to literally be right there with you and say, you know what, that's awesome. Let's make it happen. Are you ready to put in that work? This is how you're getting people started. And then number 5, When would you like to get started? That's one question that I just recently started using, because one of my downfalls and my failures has been I would do all these steps, and then once I got to them saying, okay, you know, I kind of want to do this, I would kind of let the conversation just go. And there were some people that I forgot to follow up with for months. And I'm looking back at my old conversations going, why did I never come back to this person? Why did I not follow up? So one question that has helped me kind of put a stamp on it and find out who's serious is, okay, great. You said you want to lose 50 pounds. You want to make $500 a month. When would you like to get started? And this is where you're going to get right now, which you're not going to get those very often because a lot of people are still throwing up objections. They're going to say right now, or most commonly, they're going to say, you know what, I get paid next week. I want to do it then. You say, okay, great. What's your payday? Lock down a date and a time to follow up with them, because that follow-up is going to be crucial. Out of anything in this entire business, it's the follow-up that is the key. Last question that I had on here that I have been using a lot lately, especially for people with objections. I ask them this: what are you sick and tired of in life? Again, it's going to be usually health related. It's going to be they're sick and tired of their boss. They're sick and tired of work. For me, I was sick and tired of working weekends. I was sick and tired of telling my family, no, I can't go to dinner. I was sick and tired of coming home, paying bills on payday, and then having $50 to my name for 2 weeks. I was sick and tired of it. And then you follow up with, are you ready to put in the work to change that? This question right here, are you ready to put in the work to change that, is letting them know it's going to be difficult. And it's going to help you find out the ones who are serious, because you'll find the more you work this business and the more people you get into it, the more that you get people who waste your time. For some reason, people love to talk to a coach about all their problems. But then when it comes time to do something about it, they just throw up the red flags and go, oh, sorry, I can't buy a program. But yet they'll continue talking to you just because they know you're going to listen. So by asking this question, okay, you know, and sometimes I've stopped people, literally, I will stop them mid-sentence and I'll say, okay, hold on. You've just listed off 20 different problems, but my question for you is, are you ready to put in the work to fix all that? That's going to tell people yes or no. That gives them a pretty precise, clear message from you saying it's a yes or a no. Are you ready to do this? Because we all know there is no life in between. You are committed or you're not. You do the work or you skip it. It's as easy as that. So that's kind of my whole process that I use. Now, when you get to the final part, and I'm using challenge packs as an example because that's what I run my business on. If you get through all of this, you're talking with them, and like I said, this is my personal method. Look up the Tommy Migrant method and Eric Worre and just try it. It comes down to practice, right? This whole month is focused on relationship to practice. Practice talking with people on this kind of stuff. Find the people you need to ask questions to, because you'll find what works for you. This is what works for me. So when you get to the point where they're like, okay, great, you know what, I'm ready to get started. Let's do this. You say, okay, cool. And they usually ask, okay, what do we do next? And you say, well, we have a few challenge pack options. Let's find out what works best for you. So first and foremost, you want to pair them with the right program. You don't want to put a 30-year-old bodybuilder wannabe on PIO. You don't want to put a thin yoga person on Body Beast, right? You want to pair them with a program they're actually going to like. Because I'll tell you, firsthand experience, the worst feeling ever is selling a challenge pack to somebody and being super excited for them. They get the program, do 2 days of it, and then return the whole thing and say, no, I don't like it at all. They send the whole thing back and never talk to you again. I've had it happen. It sucks. So from the get-go, make sure you pair them with the right program. So ask them more questions. What kind of workouts do you like? What have you done in the past that you hate? If they say, you know what, I've done yoga and Pilates and I hate it. All right, PIO is not going to be for you. Let's look more towards like P90X3. You know, do you like athletic training? Do you like high-intensity cardio, insanity? You find out what they like. If you guys need more help than that, I'm actually certified as a fitness trainer as well, because I wanted to get the extra credentials. And so I know a decent amount about the body when it comes to fitness and different workout programs. So if you guys need any specific help on pairing programs with people, I'd be more than happy to help. You guys know you have full access to me, not 24/7 anymore because I have business hours now, but between 8 and 8, those Pacific time, 8 and 8 are kind of my new business hours. So you guys reach out to me anytime between those hours. I'm more than happy to help you out. So when you pair them with the right program, let's say P90X3, I'm using that because it's on sale this month. So if you use P90X3 and they say, okay, great, let's do it. What next? Here is kind of I'm going to pull this up. Actually, I'm pulling up a conversation I had this morning with somebody. Probably should not have closed down my Facebook, so now I have to dig through and find it. So here's what I do not recommend. I don't remember the name of the person I was even talking to. Here we go. All right, so what I do not recommend is if somebody asks you directly, how much does P90X3 Challenge Pack cost? You do not tell them $160, which is what it's on sale for right now. Wow, we chatted way more than I thought we did. I have to scroll up a little bit. This is a good problem to have. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, wrong person. So we're going to use Beachbody On Demand Challenge Pack because that's who I was talking to about this. So this person was asking about, different programs, and I gave them the options. I said, you have a few different options. And I said, honestly, because this person was talking about Shakeology and they wanted to, save cash. I said, honestly, the best bang for your buck is going to be the Beachbody On Demand Challenge Pack. And I do not say it is $160. Here's why. You want to edify the value of the pack. So if you just say it's $160, do you want it or do you not? That is going to be far less impactful than what I told this person. This is what I tell everybody when I sell challenge packs. I say, okay, great. So the best bang for your buck would be our Beachbody On Demand Challenge Pack. It includes 15 full workout programs that you can stream online from your phone. I put iTab. Phone, iPad, or computer. The on-demand includes the programs P90X 1, 2, and 3, Insanity, and a few others. You also get a 30-day supply of Shakeology. Myself as your coach and mentor. You get your business startup fee included. And you also receive all of our team trainings in our group. That typically retails for over $300 total. And that's actually false because Beachbody On Demand has I forget what the number was, like $2,100 worth of programming. But in this case, I said this retails for over $300, and right now it's on sale for $160. And she literally said, "So I pay $160 and I get all that? Seriously?" Like exclamation points. And I said, "It's an incredible deal, isn't it?" She said, "Hell yeah." Yeah, you can probably imagine that person signing up, and I actually have her on the books for Monday. So you can see how it edifies the value in the challenge pack. Because this goes for anything. We don't put money into anything we don't see value in, right? You wouldn't go put money into a shampoo that makes you all dry and itchy. You put value. You can buy a shampoo that's twice the price because you see value in it. You get something out of it. It's the same thing when you're explaining these packs. And don't worry about writing all this down because, like I said, I'm going to make a document for our team group, and I'm going to put the wording of all of this in there. You guys can copy and paste it, make it your own, make it sound like you, and this is what you can share with people. So especially with challenge packs, you want to tell them everything they're getting. And if they were to purchase that stuff separately, it would be over $300. Well, in this case, it'd be over friggin' $2,200, and they get that for $160. Dirt cheap, and the fact that they get to start a business out of it, we are sitting on a friggin' golden nugget that can become $1 million business. We have over 38 millionaires in our business right now. And they all started with something under $200. That's one hell of a return on my investment. So aside from that, I'm done chit-chatting on my end. call is completely open if any of you guys have specific questions. Hopefully that you got something out of that, and that helped clear up a few things. All yours. Feel free to unmute yourselves if you want. Or just give me a thumbs up if you're good.
Say, Chad, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
As far as, because I'm trying to do a whole bunch of things,
Mm-hmm.
and probably maybe too many things, and not, trying to master too many things. But as far as like, just meeting people, and because that seems to be the best way for me to just walk up to somebody and say, hi, my name is,
Mm-hmm.
and then just present like that, because the people that I know, they're just like writing me off as soon as I say something. So how would we do that? I've been looking at a lot of cold call videos or cold marketing videos on YouTube and everything, but it's still like a stumbling block, because it's easy for, I was even going to post this, it's easy for somebody to go and say, hey, I want to buy this CD, or you want to buy this bootleg copy of this new CD, and then it's acceptable. But if you say, hey, I got a great way that you can lose weight or something like that, you're not going to start the conversation off like that, number one. But if you start just meeting people, then they get offended. What are you saying? I'm fat?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah. And sadly, I've had awkward conversations where it turned into that, and I was the bad guy in the end.
Yeah.
First thing I want to touch base on is what you said, where you said, everyone has written you off. It's weird. Every Beachbody coach is that way, especially like before you're, quote unquote successful, before you start making this thing work. Nobody believes in it because they all look at this thing as, you're selling health products. It's a scam. It's a pyramid, whatever their excuse is. Like, they look at you as the bad guy. But the funny thing is, I'm not wildly successful at all. Like, I'm in my beginning stages. Every time you hit a milestone, you feel like you're back at the beginning. You're ready to do it all over again. So even where I'm at, I still get people that are on the fence, but I've had people from the past when I first started 6 years ago. I've had some of those people that turn around, and now they're coming out of the woodworks like, okay, maybe I'm interested in this, especially high school friends. I've recently got a few high school friends in it. Brian? No, I have a client that showed up early. So we'll wrap this thing up real quick. So when it comes to cold, whether it be cold calling or meeting people cold style, your cold market, I personally have not had a ton of experience with it, so I don't know if I can be too helpful in that aspect, but what I would recommend is to continue looking up YouTube videos, especially if you look back at old school marketing before social media. So if you can find some of those guys and follow some of their content, they're the masters at it. They did the cold calling, drop cards. They did all this old school stuff, right? So what I usually do in those instances is I'm going out looking to make friends without having Beachbody on my mind. And my goal is to get them onto my Facebook, because my Facebook page is like central base, right? That's where anyone who looks at your Facebook page knows what you're about. They see inspiration, they see fitness, they see happiness and health. That's where some of these people are like, oh, geez, I had no idea this guy does that. So anytime I meet somebody in the grocery store or in person or at a park or something, I'm always just being friendly. Smile, like you said, introduce yourself. I could tell you firsthand experience, these flights that we took to Cancun, we had a couple connections. The first thing I did, I don't know how many flights you guys have been on, but it's always an awkward situation when you're stuck next to one person for 4 hours. Or no, two people, you have one person on each side, and nobody says a word to each other. I don't understand that. It's like, if I'm going to be stuck with you next 4 hours, I want to talk and get to know you a little bit. So the first thing I do when I go onto airplanes is I sit down, turn around, be like, hey, what's up? I'm Chaz. Nice to meet you. I'm going to be your airplane buddy for the next 4 hours. I'm just myself. I like to be happy and outgoing and show them like, hey, I'm going to be a good person to sit next to. Nobody likes sitting next to the guy that you sit down and they go, awkward. Like, I don't want to sit next to that person. So, again, I've talked about this before, and Paul, you've heard those calls where I tell people, be happy. just be positive, be that outgoing spirit that when you're walking around the stores and Starbucks, it's attracting attention. You know, if you walk into Starbucks or a grocery store and your shoulders are up, you're smiling, you're looking around, chit-chatting with people, you know, laughing, people are attracted to that. Well, most people. Some people look at you like, what the hell is wrong with them? But if you're that happy person, you're going to attract those happy people. So, yeah, when you're having those conversations and doing the cold market stuff, my goal is to get them on my Facebook. So, you know, if you connect with somebody, you find common ground, which is kind of what we do. We find common ground with people. You say, you know, I actually have to go real quick, but I would love to chat with you some more. Do you have a Facebook page? And, you know, just get them added. And from there, it's, you know, they see what you do, you converse with them some more, and you just kind of start this whole process that we talked about. So I wish I had more in-depth stuff I can give you for that, but I personally, I've built online for the most part. That's kind of my forte.
No problem.
Cool. Anyone else? Are you guys good to go? Awesome. Well, I have got a meeting with one of my buddies real quick, so I will chit-chat with you guys later. Appreciate you guys taking the time out of your Thursday night to be on here. And I'm going to get this typed up and posted tomorrow. If you do not see it in there tomorrow, by tomorrow night, reach out to me because I either forgot it or I was too lazy to do it. I need accountability like anyone else. So if you do not see this posted as a document in there by tomorrow night, reach out and hound me about it. I'll get it done. This has been Coach Shaz. Peace out, my friends. Great hanging out with you.